We've arranged our funerals, we've told our children we are doing exactly what we want to do, and in doing so, we don't have to worry about, if we get killed, we'll be killed doing exactly what we want to do.
Anyway, when I finally got rid of the place and retired, I went into town. Rome was my town. Went in there and bought a little place and sat on the veranda, and I said, well, what now? It's the dullest life in the world, and that's where you grow whole, sitting there, see? And I said, I'll buy a little van and go around Australia.
I always tell my kids this is my therapy. I say to them, if I start to go off, just put me in front of the wheel of the car and let me go. I said, and I'll drive, and that'll be my therapy.
I'm nearly 60 now and part of a unique generation. Never before have so many lived so long, with such leisure and means. Some call it the third age, but whatever you call it, I'm having a great time.
For most of our lives, our old age lies in the future. Well, for Mary Mason, the future has arrived. She's over 60, retired, the kids have all left home, and she may well have 20 years of life left to go. This is her third age, and she's been asking herself that big, universal question. What the hell do I do now? The answer has materialised in the form of a second-hand camper van with a suspect pedigree. Five months ago, Mary lived in a small unit in Ballarat, a Victorian town she'd lived in for over 30 years. And despite the fact she'd never driven more than a couple of hours away from home in her life, she was about to begin an indefinite journey around Australia.
Look, there goes my cupboard.
Not all the family are keen on the idea.
If she was leaving a house and then coming back later, it wouldn't have as much impact as this, as packing up, getting rid of the flat and leaving, you know, like not having furniture in storage, not having photo albums in a box to come home to. It's not, that's all gone. A huge big section of her life is just stopping and starting a new one, which is just totally unknown.
I think I've done my job now. I mean, when your baby's 30, I think they should, if they haven't learnt enough now, it's time I turfed them out of the nest and flew away, isn't it?
Well, why shouldn't she? She was widowed at 32. Her dad died when I was 6, and she's brought up the 6 of us with nothing but a pension. So, no, I'm all for it. I think it's about time she had something for herself, and this is it. So I think good on her. About the only thing I would be worried about is the van, and Reg is working on that, so we trust him.
Well, it's a 20-year-old Toyota Hiace. She only paid $2,500 for it. We've done a fair bit of work on it and tried to bring it up as best we can, but can't guarantee miracles.
Okay, if Mum belts around and meets up with the group of grey-haired ghosts that are going around on the road, well, fine, you know. But the majority of those people have a bankroll behind them. Mum hasn't.
So why are you going?
I don't want to be in an old people's home in a wheelchair. Saying I could have done that. I always wanted to go to Wonga Beach and go fishing, but I was too old. I'm not too old.
When Mary left home, she instinctively headed north and began an anti-clockwise journey around Australia. It's cheaper this way. She'd take advantage of prevailing winds, and by travelling on the inside lane, the 20,000 kilometre round trip would be about 108 k's short. Once behind the wheel, Mary became part of the uniquely Australian phenomenon. There are thousands of grey nomads out here, roaming every road and track on the continent. New age wanderers and independent spirits whose travels challenge convention and social expectation.
We're all widows.
Sorry, could you say that?
All widows. I've been a widow for 20 years now.
And I've been a widow 3. And this is about 15, I think.
Yeah.
The three of us met through the Country Women's Association, and 8 years ago I did a trip around with two ladies, and this time I met Heather. She's in the Country Women's Association at Stanwell Park, and one day last year she said to me, "How about doing a trip around Australia, Esma?" So I said, "Right, we'll go." And this is how we all sort of got together, the three of us. We brought Joyce because she can drive. We were looking for someone to drive.
And she's quite nice as well.
She's a 1967 Toyota Coaster. She's not the prettiest thing on the road, so God, she does us. This is our 11th year, and in my knowledge we've done just round about the 200,000 miles is coming up on this trip. That's what we've done in 11 years.
People say to you, aren't you lucky to travel? And our phrase of answering that is, no, we've earned it.
Children are all off our hands and they're their own people, so we do our own thing. Maybe this is what we should do, keep following the sun for the rest of our lives. We like to get right out on our own. Love driving through the bush and getting on back roads and getting away from the hustle and bustle of the main roads. It beats staying at home in the middle of winter and sitting on your backside, freezing cold, and just sitting by the fire doing nothing. Well, that's not my cup of tea. I like to be out and doing.
I was a psychiatrist, and I suppose one of the things that got me moving was that a number of my patients were on the pension or on the dole, and they were nomadic, and I thought, well, if they can do it on the dole, then I should be able to do it if I sell my house and live off the interest.
When I sold my house, my daughter wept, but she said, "Go for it, Dad." The first time, my father said I was crazy. My sisters yelled at me. Colleagues abused me. Afterwards they said, "Half your luck, mate." Nomadism does that to people. Threatens their basic values and lifelong commitments.
I've never actually had freedom before. I left school and started working, and then I'd only been working a short while, and then I got married. And it's only in the last 12 years that I actually started playing golf, bowls and things like that to actually do something myself.
Dirty beggars, these trucks.
And I was in a dreadful rut before that happened. I was depressed all the time. I used to ring up the local radio station just to talk to somebody other than the kids.
Hello, Mum. You mad if you come home. It's freezing. It hasn't stopped raining since you left. I tell the kids their grandma's flown north for the winter. What's it like now?
The weather's lovely. The sun's shining, it stopped raining.
Keep heading north, Mum, because the cold stretches right up the coast.
We're heading into the good stuff now.
Well, here we got a exhaust bracket broken, and the exhaust is pretty thin up the front. We'll just whack a simple sleeve over the end of it, weld her up, and then we'll be on the road again.
Thank you very much, Barry.
Yeah, all right. I'll just back up and grab some money.
$10.
There you go, Vermin.
Cheap, isn't it? Power drives a vehicle, and it's P-O-W-E-R. P for petrol, O for oil, W for water, E for electrics, and R for rubber. And I check them every morning. And that's why we can get going. We don't miss on anything. So that was the greatest lesson I ever learned in my early youth. Right. That's okay.
Who's the boss?
The Colonel.
Colonel's the boss. We always say, ask the boss. Heather says to me, what are we going to do or what do we ask? Says, ask the boss.
Better put something around this. It's going to rattle up here now. They're the pegs we don't want, and that's the jumper leads. Can you wrap that up because it's going to rattle on top of that tyre? That's better. Okay, that's it. Sort of people like the comfort of their home and sit and watch TV all day, but we don't know what boredom means. Not enough hours in the day, not enough days in the week for me. Here, Heather. Here. I always put the feet apart so I can get a good lift up on it. Right. It's not hard when you do it properly. Put your legs apart and lift it up. Perspiration, man.
How much time have you got?
I don't know. My mother's still alive, and she had a 93rd birthday last Saturday. And looks after herself, lives on her own and looks after herself. So let's hope that I keep going till I'm 93. I'll be still driving and travelling around. The three of us have got on exceptionally well. There's been no problems at all. I've travelled with women. There's always seems to be one woman who wants to be difficult. But I can honestly say the three of us, there's not been one angry word. We've laughed. We've been so happy. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I recommend it to all the women, even if they're 80 years of age. Go.
Everybody does it their own way, and that's really what nomadism is about. There's no prescription. You do it as you like it. And that's how you get into defining yourself. Rather than having to fit some stereotype or norm, nomadism is about selfhood, working it out and finding out who you are by experiment and trial and error. The difference between the way I choose to make my journey and others choose is that I love the wilderness. Others cling to suburban ways more tightly.
very nice unit. Most of my working life's been spent with a swag and a carton of beans, but for Mum's comfort more than mine, I think it just makes really a home.
Well, I've got everything, I think.
Give us a bit
Everything
of a
I've
tour.
got in home. I've got a gas stove, and I chose to have a stove with an oven because I like cooking, and also, which is a real bonus for me, I enjoy sewing. So we organised to have the whole cabinet, the sewing cabinet put in, and I just pull that out and open that up, pull it out.
Yeah, can you do that?
Well, it's a bit hard to do it. It's not just easy.
It's a very functional unit, but it just saves us a lot of time, a lot of hassle.
This is to stabilise it going along. There's another ramp behind it. Get down on my knees to do this because it is fairly heavy.
I can't see anything wrong with it. It's very basic and very crude. There's my tucker box. It's set all the time. I sit there and I have my dinner off this table. First time I travelled around Australia, I carried folding chairs and I carried tables, and I got big handles on my tucker box so I could carry it away, but all that's... I've refined everything now. That's where I sit. I put that cardboard down there. If I want my salt, I got it and I put it back, and my table never has to be laid. If I want, I've got my pepper and I put it on, and if I want to cut my bread, I just get my knife out and I cut my sausage or whatever it is, and I stick it back there. My knife and fork, I use them and lick them clean and stick them back in there, no bother. It's ultimate in simplicity.
I'm on the wrong side of the machine. That makes it a bit more difficult.
Fuel range, you're probably looking at just under 2,000 mile. Water, I suppose, if you're reasonably careful, probably 6 weeks. If you wanted fresh meat and fresh vegetables, well, you'd have to get in the little vehicle that goes in the trailer behind the motorhome.
See me radio, I got tired of crawling through there and getting... I love the news, I follow all the news papers. I miss the Courier Mail once I leave Queensland, but I get all the papers and read all the news. And I got sick of that, so I can do that from in my bed, see? I can lay in there and you get to know exactly where that is, and I can just reach back and press that and he's turn on. Volume, up or down. Oh, I held him at instant. Made the bed and bolted him there. He can't shift. My ports are all under the bed. And it's the first bed and the only bed in Australia that is permanently and forever made. I don't have to muck around making bed. It's awkward trying to make a bed in a confined space like that, but mine is forever made.
Had gas struts put on, so it is a bit hard to get down now, but it's getting easier. I haven't got that cushion quite right.
And I want to make me coffee, sunshine milk, tea, the lot. Everything's there and nothing is ever untidy. And when I finish my meal, whatever one it is, I'm ready to go, ready to roll.
92.5 Gold FM on the Gold Coast. Now we're thinking about you as you relax on the beaches. Absolutely gorgeous conditions on the coast today, expecting around about 27 degrees, staying fine for the next few days. At the moment it's 25 degrees.
A lot of people reckon this is their perfect spot, Mary.
No, it's a bit crowded for me. What's this, mate? Bloody cool.
Yeah, you had a reservation?
Oh, yes.
What's your name?
Miss Mary Mason.
Our little shop here is open all day, from 6:30 in the morning till 7:30 in the evening, and we have a free courtesy coach that goes into town 3 times daily. There's the amenities. The ladies' showers and toilets are on the left, laundry in the middle, men's on the far side, and clotheslines at the rear. You don't need keys to those. They're all open 24 hours. Free barbecue hut on the corner there if you want to come down and cook some dinner. All the site numbers are clearly marked on the road for you. A lovely shady spot for you here. Number 38. See that? So you just back your van in there. You've got power, water, sullage, everything you need there. And the amenities are just over that way. Now I'm going to take you the scenic route back to the office. These are our new deluxe villas. We've just built those, brand new. They've even got a spa in the bathroom. The RSCQ came through recently and accredited us with 5 stars. We're now the only 5-star caravan park in Australia. So we're very proud. We also just won the Queensland Tourism Award, and at the end of the year we'll go into the national awards and hopefully we'll scoop the pool there.
You can leave your things around, leave your tables and chairs, and nobody's going to steal them. Everything is comfortable. And I think that when you get to our age, to be comfortable and secure is what you need. Men tend to have a worse position in retirement than women.
Yeah, why is that?
I think they've been so busy working all the time, and they've got into a routine, go to work, go to the pub, come home, have tea and go to bed. And when they've got to fill in a whole day, they start to think, well, what the hell do I do? Oh, I was going to go overseas, but I better leave some money for the kids, or something like that. Instead of saying, well, what about us? Often you see people, when they get to retirement age, or their children are off their hands, they look at each other and say, oh, who are you?
I had a very happy marriage, and married for 36 years. Then my wife died with a cerebral hemorrhage, and I'd only been retired 3 months, and I was sort of at a loose end. I didn't know what to do. A few months later, I'd been to the Albury races actually, and with friends of mine, and we'd booked into the SSNA club in Albury, Hume Golf Club, sorry, and we were all there acting the goat, and we spotted Ellen and her daughter, and anyway, the 2 of us were clowning around, and they were playing music. I sort of went over, and Ellen was sitting down, and I lifted her up and grabbed her and got her up and started dancing with her. And she said, I wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't had a couple of wines. And I said, no, and if I hadn't been to races all day and full of the boot, I wouldn't be doing this either. Anyway, that was all right. That was our first meeting. Well, sort of nothing ever came. It was for a long time and I didn't do anything about it. Kept thinking about it, but never did anything about it. And anyway, one thing led to another, and we eventually got together. And here we are, as happy as larks now. This goes crooked, take my false teeth out, act the goat. Anyway, you'll have to put up with that. Got to clean my teeth. And this is how you have a wash in the morning. And
so all of that's come out of one little bowl of hot water?
Yeah, I've done my hair, I've washed my face, and now I'm cleaning my teeth, and then when I finish cleaning my teeth, I'll clean my razor. And then all the ablutions are done for the day. And do this to save water. It's about a bit of water here this morning, and we don't really have to save it, but because it's become a ritual, we sort of just do it this way naturally every morning. You like the fire now. I'll do the starter.
Love is the pinnacle of our life. The thing that really was, I suppose, the most surprising to both of us was the intensity of the love we felt at this stage of our life, because we'd both only had the one partner, and to feel this deeply, just like first time round. It was intense, frightening, it was at first, and but we soon got over the frightening part, and it was just magic. It's just wonderful.
Stop!
Well done.
Oh! Oh God, that was amazing.
Age doesn't come into this sort of thing. I think because you have no... When you first marry, you have all these other things. You have your children coming and the money worries and the buying the house and things. We haven't got any of those things, so we can focus on each other.
Ken reckons there's one cure for everything.
What's that?
SEX. Doesn't matter what it is, that's a cure for it.
I reckon sex is a dirty, filthy habit. And Joyce keeps saying, yes, and you like dirty, filthy habit. Our kids catch us cuddling in the corners, and we're always cuddling. Joyce is nice to have. I think older people, it's a state of mind. They've forgotten how to enjoy themselves. They've forgotten how to enjoy life.
Very nice, but it's sort of not my style. Not much different to being at home, actually. You watch television, do a little bit of housework, and that's it. I think I've got the travel bug. I just like to keep moving and doing things, you know, get around and see something.
So where to now?
I think up the coast a bit, just past Port Douglas. I might have a look at bits and pieces on the way, but I'm going to get up to Wonga Beach and go fishing. Moving about. It's lovely. just beautiful. I can hear the waves all night, hear the ocean all night, and just think, get up and go fishing. And sort of, only a matter of a couple of yards and I'm down on the water, and it's a great spot. Warm, the water's warm.
So you'll stay here a while?
I think so. I think it's going to be hard to move from this place.
We might find you a bit later on down the track then.
I think you might.
It doesn't matter where you go on a trip around Australia, you can be certain of two things. There will always be grey nomads on the road, and there will always be an oasis waiting to welcome them.
G'day there, I'm Barry from Barry Lorraine's Carumba Point Tourist Park. Carumba is in the Gulf of Carpentaria, which is, well, Gulf of Carpentaria, isn't it?
Some of these people don't make a full journey.
No, we've got two in hospital this week. The flying doctor took them out with one with heart trouble and one with bowel trouble. He had cancer before he left and took the chance, and he thought, bugger it, if on the road I have trouble, I'll do something about it then. Well, he had the bad trouble, so... and one will be back tomorrow. The doctor's bringing him home again in the plane. Coming through to our barbecue, happy hour and craft area in here. We've got a bloke practising tonight.
When I was in my 30s, I reckon blokes were old at 51. Now I'm in my 60s, I reckon 50 anything get young.
A nomadic life sort of was just a continuation of my life. I was an interstate transport driver for 25 years with my own truck, and in those days you went wherever you could get a load. And so it didn't matter what part of Australia. They said if the load was right and the money was right, you'd go. But then you still had your home and your family, which was strained at times. But you know, it was luckily for me, I reckon, I had the right woman. So she stuck, and we eventually got everything together. And then when she passed away, of course, and the children all grew up, it was just natural for me to go back on the road again.
Funny thing about it is, with each passing year, I just seem to get more energy. So I reckon while I got the spark, I haven't reached the halfway mark. Where I am is where I want to be.
If you've been with somebody for 39 years and 7 months and a couple of weeks, naturally it's not easy. However, I mean, I knew it was coming. We'd had her in the hospice, and they told us that was it. She'll never come home. Anyway, we beat them, and we got her home for 3 months. She was paralysed, but we still got her home. And then the pain got too much, so we had to take her back in, and we got another 2 months.
I'm a long way from where I started.
I don't know how this happened, but got to Carumba, got involved with the park. I suppose that was something. Became part of it, and now it's what would you call it, an extended family. But at last, I don't want to go any further. I think I've travelled all I need to do.
But if you ever hear a man upstairs calling out my name, or send an old St. Peter after me, well, I don't mean no disrespect. Tell him I'm not ready yet. Where I am is where I want to be. I don't mean no disrespect. Tell him I'm not ready yet. Where I am is where I want to be. Yay! Time for sweets.
Three months after leaving their home in Victoria, Tony and Ellen are where they want to be. It's impossible to circumnavigate Australia without passing through vast areas of isolated wilderness. And despite the remoteness and distance, it's amazing how many inexperienced grey nomads are willing to give it a go.
It's amazing how big this country is when you get out on the road like this. I had no idea when I left home that I'd be driving through miles and miles of nothing. Every now and again I feel a little bit guilty not keeping in more contact with the kids. I think they're probably the same as I am, just one day runs into the next. Before you know it, a week's gone by. You think, I'll send a postcard tomorrow. Still got it written out 3 days later. It's only been 3 months. Got plenty of time. I don't know. I've missed a lot of places I thought I'd see on the way to here. But you know, when I went through, I thought, oh, I'll see that next time. So it's sort of in the back of my mind all the time that it's not going to be a once trip. I think it's going to go on till either I stop or the car stops, one or the other. Whichever wears out first.
What happened, Mary?
It boiled, ran out of water. Just hope to God I haven't blown up the whole thing. Keep your fingers crossed.
When she pulled up behind us, all there was a great cloud of smoke, as you can see. It's still coming out.
Something's burning, isn't it?
No, it's not burning. It's only hot oil. Oh, well, it's full of oil, Steve. And there's no water on the dipstick. So that's a good sign. She's obviously stopped in time.
Great way to meet people, isn't it? Are we ready?
Yeah, start her up.
Just let it dribble in for a bit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hey?
What in God's name is it?
I think there's a head gasket blown on it, by the look of it. And we'll have to go back and see if we can get some RACQ service or something from somewhere.
We'll do that for you.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and see.
Oh, don't be silly.
Here, stick them in your pocket. Stick them in your pocket with the phone. Not much you can do about it, just wait and trust the experts. Generally people are pretty good. If something goes wrong, they'll do the right thing and not rip you off. Got it all fixed, only took 3 days. It's $568.90. I thought I was being so careful too, you know, checking the oil and water and everything, but as a young chap said, it would have happened anyway because of the little things that had gone wrong.
This is the morning ritual. I had a very near miss. Actually, I'm very lucky to be here. I had a clot of blood in the heart, and I was lucky they had the right serum at the hospital in Brighton, and they were able to inject it straight into me and dissolve the clot. And after several angiograms and angioplasties, I'm back to normal again. I was to have open heart surgery, but then I sort of overcame that too. I didn't have to have it. So that was good. I'm a great believer that if you can get out in the open and you're relaxed and enjoying yourself. I mean, we leave home and we're away for 4 months. We never see a doctor the whole time we're away. And I don't know what it is, but you get home and you're home a week, and blame me if you're not making an appointment to see the doctor for some stupid reason. And yet if you're away, you wouldn't bother to go, you know, because I don't know what it is or why, but it's just so strange.
Ellie, you're no stranger to bad health either, are you? You've had some worries.
Yes, yes. I think they give you another perspective on life. I've had several operations, and I suppose my major one was breast cancer, but that was about 18 years ago now. And my life was in a bit of a shambles at the time, and I think it was stress related. They seem to think lots of cancers are, and I think in my case it probably was.
Can you talk about that for us?
Well, I thought I was happily married, but apparently it wasn't that way for my husband, and he gradually started moving away towards another lady, and that was very painful. And then we lost our daughter, and that was really painful. And it still hurts. And then I got cancer. And but I never thought I was going to die. I never felt that. But my children were a great support, and then my life turned around, and my knight in shining armour came and rescued me, and my life's been pretty beautiful.
Oh, we're in the middle of the most god-awful country you've ever seen. And it's a long way to go yet. Just actually listening and looking around. There's a crowd of people here, all in twos, all happy and laughing, talking to each other. And I could quite easily have joined in, but I'd still be alone. And I've never actually noticed it so much before. You realise how basically useless you are when you get depressed. Who would employ somebody my age and absolutely no experience in doing anything apart from housework and rearing children? I'd hate them all to sit around and think, what are we going to do with Mum? I'd rather stay out here than let that happen. Very hard to put into words, but I felt as if I should get out and they don't have to worry about me. I can let them get on with their own lives. But I didn't realise, I have missed them, but I didn't realise till I got this far out in the never that how much I missed them and how much I needed them actually. I miss physical contact with the family, with the kids. You realise how long it is, since and somebody put their arms around you and gave you a hug. I didn't want to do that again. I shouldn't be talking about it. Damn. If I don't talk about it, I'm alright, but if I talk about it, I'm miserable. Here we go.
When I was first travelling, when my marriage first broke up, of course I used to get very depressed. I saw much of Southeast Asia through a jerky veil of tears. And I learnt quite quickly that whenever I got down, I'd go through my little bag. I didn't carry much, but I'd go through my bag and see what I could get rid of, and I'd make it my discipline to choose something to leave behind, and I always felt better. It works. And to leave house and home and to sell up and get rid of furniture, it's such a sense of relief. We overburden ourselves with clutter. Less is more, they say. Less is more.
It's good, you drive along and there's everybody waves. You give you a little wave as you're going along and you feel it takes the edge off being on your own. Thank you. Friends, people you worked with.
People I worked with. And family. Thought I was irresponsible. And I thought I was being most responsible. I thought this the best thing I could do for my children was to go and find myself and come back and show them other ways.
The distance that I am from my children, it's only been coming on slowly, that I can understand their feelings now. I was very selfish, and in a way they were too. They were just as selfish as I was. None of us had let go.
You were a rare mother to have been able to see that and to be able to say it, Mary.
But it might be easy to say it up here. It might be different when I get home again, mightn't it?
So this is the luxury of talking to a stranger. So having got it out here, you've done a practice run. And
I think things will be different though, because you can't just travel this far without it changing it.
I think it's a great gift you're giving to a lot of people. That's what they're all running away from, and you at least have faced it and come out into this big emptiness that draws on our hearts.
Yeah, 2 years ago I couldn't walk from here to that gum tree over there. Wonderful feeling to think that we can do this again.
Well, what we're doing, we hope we can do forever, but that's impossible. We all know that. But we'll do it as long as we can, and we'll enjoy every day, every minute of every day.
Can anyone be a nomad, John?
Well, it doesn't matter how old you are, or what colour, or what country, or your financial situation, it's always only that far away. And because it's a matter of simplicity and letting go, it's available to anybody. Take the step if they've got the mind to do it. One of my greatest delights in travelling is to move on leaving no trace and having no attachment, except of course the grey ashes from the fire, which remain a point on the ground like a full stop, punctuating my nomadic journey.
15,000 kilometres after she began her journey, Mary is as far away from home as she can get on the Australian mainland.
I feel fitter and younger than when I left home. I might look any younger, but I feel younger. At home, I wouldn't go out down to the shop unless I put my makeup on and dressed properly. I'd know I'd take off in a pair of shorts and just wash my face and go. I'd say to Kathy, I've got to put my makeup on. I've got to put my face on. There's a lot of faces like mine around, so who cares? I feel free, I suppose, is the one word I'm looking for. Just feel, you know, I can please myself, don't have to worry about upsetting anybody. I just take off and be a selfish old lady. It's good. It's good fun.
Do you ever think you're too old for this trip, Mary?
Well, I've always had that idea. I just sort of was sitting in the bath one day and I saw this 75 here. It's a little varicose vein. It's pretty disgusting, isn't it? And it says 75. See that?
Yeah.
I thought that's probably my use-by date. Then I started planning accordingly. You know, that's it. Got to do all these things before I'm 75. And that, but I think it's gradually changing to a 9, that 7, so I might be 97.
95.
95, yeah, 95.
It's nearly 12 months since Mary left home, and she has no plans to go back or to settle down. She has become a nomad.
Bloody hell! We're up!